Hey, welcome on in, guys. Tobin here with you, and thanks for checking out the channel. Hope you're doing fantastic out there. I had to hop on here and talk about this. So I'm watching a little late night boxing in the garage studio. I'm watching Gervonta Davis take on Lamont Roach. Fully expecting Gervonta Davis, to win this fight. I thought that he would have gotten Roach out of there. Roach was looking a little bit apprehensive in the early goings in this fight, as one should be with Gervonta Davis, but eventually settled in on the back half of this fight. And quite frankly, I really thought that he dominated the back half of this fight. I thought that and I thought that he deserved to win. I thought that he deserved the fight. I was fully expecting, though, once it went to the scorecards. And as my social media posts reflect, I was expecting chicanery to be happening with the scorecards. It ends up being a majority draw. One goes to Gervonta Davis, 115-113. I had that score for Lamont Roach. The other two scorecards had it 6-6. They had it an even draw, 114 apiece. I guess I can't, cry too much, for a 7-5, 6-6 discrepancy, because the first half of this fight was very fluid. I mean, however you had that going. But it's really the ninth round everybody's really talking about, because Gervonta Davis basically volunteered taking a knee after Lamont Roach hit him. And they basically took a knockdown from him. And if he has the knockdown by rule, not that everybody has to give a 10-8, but technically when you submit yourself like that and you take a knee, you're giving a knockdown. Unless you give one back, it's supposed to be a 10-8 round in the must system. And so Gervonta Davis ends up saying that he got grease in his eye from getting his hair done. And he wasn't able to see. It was very confusing at the time, because he stops. He's like, whoa, 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 whoa. And you're like, huh? And he basically just takes a shot and then looks at the ref and then just decides, I'm not even going to call timeout. And I'm going to be like, I need my eyes wiped, which it didn't even look like he got them wiped too good. So for a second, the broadcasters were like, was a mouthpiece put in? What's going on there? So now he's obviously explained to Steve Willis what's going on with his eye. He's got something in his eye. He gives him the pass. He goes, you give yourself up like that, I'm supposed to count that. And I love Steve Willis. Everybody loves Steve Willis. He's, if you guys don't know, he's the viral referee. He gives he gives the real demonstrative reactions to punches. You ever see the guy go viral on TikTok for the referee who really loves his job? That's Steve Willis. He's a great, he's one of the more beloved figures out there as far as officiating is concerned. But it wasn't even just this. Take this aside, I really just felt like, and credit to Lamont Roach's corner, I think it was his secondary man, not his dad, who was just like, listen, he's really only got the left, and he's trying to hit that off switch. He's trying to, knock your block off. And it kind of felt like after this, I would say Gervonta probably had after his 20-second timeout that he was able to get granted to him. He had his best flurry, I would say, in the back half of the fight. And then, really I just thought that Lamont Roach just fought the better fight. I thought that he stood toe-to-toe better. I thought that he landed the better stuff. He had a couple of moments where he buckled Gervonta, but I just thought that he was landing. I thought that he was landing cleaner. He obviously had the jab. Gervonta had a little bit more success early goings in this fight with his body work, but he kind of went away from that and was, I think, looking for the highlight reel shot. So Gervonta says afterwards, well, I'm the one who made it competitive. Yeah, all right. I mean, if that was your strategy, that was your strategy. I don't know what to tell you. But typically, Gervonta Davis has become a second-half fighter. He is usually, setting guys up, seeing what they got, seeing if he's got to respect what's coming back that way, and then he finds some method or means to shut the lights out, and he's very good at it. Whether, he's turning dudes blind, knocking them out of the ring, uppercutting him to the shadow realm, hitting him with vicious body shots. Look, the dude is an absolute monster. He's one of the most freak He is, pound for pound, probably the biggest freak puncher there is in the sport, and especially now that Deontay Wilder is not really boxing or is going to retire soon. It's Gervonta's world as far as one hit destroyers. There's nobody like him, but I thought he really went in there today, and I think that he fought a guy who had some experience with him, and didn't look too intimidated about what was coming back. And I just thought that he returned better firepower. To me, the early rounds were a toss-up, and I guess that's where this can kind of go. But yeah, I thought that at worst you're looking at the back half of the fights being 4-2 for Lamont, and I thought that he won this fight, man. I thought that he won this fight. Terrence Crawford coming out, the man who says Roach won that, should have been called a knockdown. Let's see what happens. They robbed him. That's crazy. I've never seen someone take a knee and they don't count it as a knockdown. Must have forgot the rules. I'm with them. And that's the thing. This is one of the things that drives you nuts a bit as a fight fan, because everybody kind of tunes in and they're like, you get ridiculous topics like, oh, well, you gotta beat the champ. You gotta knock out the champ. You gotta take it decisively from the champ. It's like, how? So I can only win a fight 8-4? Like, I can only win 116, 112. Otherwise, it's a close fight. Then it's a toss-up either way. So that's my only method of means if I'm going to win a decision against the champ, where I have to knock him out. That's kind of ridiculous. Like, there is a scoring method. Whoever has the most points at the end. It is subjective. But I don't agree with. I've never agreed with that thought process. Like, if you win, you win, and these things are. When you're talking about things this close, yeah, if a guy gets a knockdown taken away, that is that's really, really tough luck. And they both go out there, and you could tell that Gervonta was disappointed with them calling it a draw, but man, I think he should be celebrating, honestly, because I think he kind of got away with one here. And, of course, everyone's now, look, I'm a big Gervonta Davis fan as far as, the fight is concerned with him. He's super entertaining. Who doesn't love seeing big knockouts? But, yeah, this is now 2 with Lamont Roach and Isaac Cruz, where people are going to be like, you're kind of getting that Canelo scorecard, my friend, where, people are like, Gennady Golovkin sitting here being like, shrugging his shoulders, looking to be like, you see? Landy Lar is like, So I don't know. That was a bad job by Steve Willis making that happen, because you can't call a timeout like that. Like, that's ridiculous. The only time you can really ever get any of that is if your mouthpiece isn't there, and he's like, no, I had stuff in my eyes. And mind you, this is the other thing. Like, they were a minute into the round too. Like, that's the other crazy thing. It's not like this happened. If this was 10 seconds into the round and oh my God, they didn't wipe me correctly, but you're basically like almost a minute into round 9 and a guy's in the flow of a fight and you're just stopping it out of nowhere. And I also thought that Gervonta, like, doing a lot of holding, a lot of illegal stuff at the end, because he was doing whatever he could to slow the momentum of Lamont Roach. I mean, look, that's gamesmanship, that's boxing, but I just thought, to me, it's more of a sign that Roach was really bothering him, and he was doing all he could, every trick in the book to stop the momentum, because he knew at a certain point, I can't put this guy's lights out, and that's a problem for a guy who puts everybody's lights out. So it is unfortunate. Obviously, you got to run it back. I mean, look, even if I look at it like this, that Lamont Roach they're going to put this rematch together for sure. But even if Lamont Roach did get the decision, for sure they're going to do the rematch. And now I'd imagine you have to do the rematch. It was too good a fight. He is now going to be, looked at and thought of as the guy that it could maybe stand up to Gervonta Davis. Now, Isaac Cruz never got a rematch, so maybe they don't. I mean, they're like, Tank Davis out of everybody right now kind of marches to his own beat. He doesn't necessarily fight the guys that everybody expects him to go fight. But now one of the guys that he did pick put up a pretty good showing against him. And that's not, I don't mean to say that as a slight at Lamont Roach, but he certainly made himself very, very known tonight and was tremendous. Just a really, really great performance by him in this. And you can tell how disappointed he was. I mean, he's just shouting the F word down the tunnel afterwards, just disgusted. And I kind of feel for him, because it's like you put on performance of a lifetime with the world watching. You feel like there was some kind of BS here with you either having to be rewarded a knockdown or even just your opponent taking a timeout where you have momentum in a round, and then he can kind of flip the switch. And you're thinking here, like, did I just in the mental warfare of that, you're thinking to myself, wait, did I just get screwed out of a knockdown? And now he gets to kind of come on and steal a round away. Like, I would feel, for all this, oh, you got to beat the champ, like that's a lot of, you're taking a lot of liberties with you being the cash cow there, because I guarantee if the roles were reversed there, no one's letting Lamont Roach take an automatic timeout in the middle of the round. There's no way that's happening. So it's unfortunate. It's not that a draw is a criminal decision. It's not, but I look, in my opinion, Lamont Roach won the fight and should have had his hand raised and should have beaten Gervonta Davis. But I'd imagine they're going to run it back, especially with all the controversy. Controversy sells. And it was also a really entertaining fight, especially the last 6 rounds. It was fantastic. So can't wait to see it again. And, it's obviously going to make for a great build-up the next time around.